So let me ask about one question about Trump. He certainly gets all the press. We're not going to give him that much. But I hear a lot of people say, it's just a bubble. It's going to go away just the way Herman Cain and Michelle Bachmann and all these people did. But, you kids are a little young to remember. But that's what they said about Ronald Reagan. I remember when I was 12 years old in 1968 when he first floated the bubble of running, and it was a joke. Oh, come on. He had a stupid television show. He's divorced. He avoided combat. He's got weird hair and crazy face paint. This guy will never. So for all those people who say Donald Trump could not go all the way, I don't think they're right. They didn't say he would get this far. And obviously, I don't know what the results are from last night, but Fox tried to put a stake in him, and I don't think they did.
I agree with you completely. Crazy to dismiss his chances to be the Republican nominee. When you have 17 candidates in the race, he's polling at 25% right now. He may collapse, but he may not. And you can certainly be the Republican nominee getting 25, 26, 27% of the vote. And his message is powerful, which is our leaders in Washington are incompetent. The country is falling apart. I'm going to fix it and make America great again. He's not talking about policies. A lot of what he says is nonsense talk, but he is saying things.
Steve, listen.
He is saying,
other than the fact that he has no policies,
he is saying out loud what millions of people across this country are screaming at their television sets every night. And the notion he can't win, I think, is dead wrong.
But like take, for example, what he said about Obamacare. I will repeal it and replace it with something terrific.
Yeah.
Right. Is that
the best way to describe
something terrific?
The best way to describe his rhetoric and policy, it has the form and substance of fog. There is simply no there. There's nothing real about this.
But do people care?
I think this is wearing thin. I thought last night was the beginning of the process of decoupling ourselves from him. And I think once the media starts focusing on the other candidates, that's when he begins to shrink. And I just see that as inevitable. Respecting your example of Reagan, this is no Reagan, and I'm not here celebrating Reagan, but there were a little more principles attached to Reagan's approach to governing.
Yeah, he was a little better than something terrific.
Here's what he has. Here's what he has, and I admit he'd have a better chance at going all the way if he had hair like yours, possibly. But it's
dream on,
his
lady.
Message. I'm saying
we know.
Up here.
When's the last time you saw James Carville's hair?
I like that hair.
We know.
I like that hair.
It's been a long time.
Listen, here's what he has. It speaks to Steve's point. Which has been driving conservatives crazy, right-wing nuts like me, for 2 cycles now. He has confidence, and he's not defensive, and he doesn't accept the premise of the question. And conservatives want somebody who's going to stand up for what we believe in. And he's at least standing up for the principles. And why I think there was.
For what principles?
He's not defensive?
The principles are that there's a core competence of government that is missing. Yeah. And I know that the government can work. I'm not anti-government. Republicans are anti-government. We've made New Orleans work. You made San Francisco work. Yeah. Federalism works. The federal government is not working.
But to his point earlier, it does seem like they don't have any specifics, or they do not want to deal with reality. It seems like the difference in the Republicans. It looks like the Democrats at least deal with reality, whereas and look in the mirror sometimes and ask you to as a country, whereas everything with the Republicans is it's the fault of China, Mexico, and Iran, and of course, lazy takers who use their welfare money to buy drugs.
Well, I think you saw any one of a number of Republican candidates last night with an aspirational message. Marco Rubio is one of them. Talked about the future, talked about the sharing economy, talked about the displacement of middle-income workers. Amazon, the largest retailer in the world, doesn't own a single store. Now, Donald Trump talking about, I'm going to build a great wall with a great door in the middle. Of course it's all nonsense talking. Rick Perry, to his great credit, gave a great speech where he talked about Trumpism as a cancer on conservatism, and he's exactly right.
But what does it say about your party that the guy who's leading you keep saying is full of nonsense?
Yeah.
Well,
you're saying it. I'm not saying it. You're saying it.
What it says about the party and what it says about Washington is people in this country have completely and totally lost trust with their leaders in Washington. Republicans have seen Republican leaders in Washington spend the country to $18 trillion in debt, abdicate their principles year after year after year, and they're angry as hell about
Right.
it, and they are responding to the angriest message.
Let me